My name is Joseph Anderson, and this is RM University's 90-Day Jumpstart program. Today is day 70, and I want to talk to you about the power of journaling. Now, maybe you're one that's kept a journal all of their life, and maybe you're one that really hasn't. I hope you kept a journal on your mission, because there's a lot of experiences that you've probably forgotten, that at challenging times in your life, it's going to be very powerful to look back on those experiences and remember them. I think that's really the purpose of a journal, is to remember. We look at the scriptures, and while they do have commandments and many other prophecies of the prophets, some of it's even just journals. Like, hey, we walked from Jerusalem out in the middle of the desert today. And you're able to look and imagine what their experiences were like. You're able to see the story. You're going to have a time in your life when you're going to be gone. And your kids are going to be left, and your grandkids are going to be left. What are they going to have to remember you by? If they have a journal, then they're able to almost relive. That's the word I was looking for. It's almost like you can relive their experiences. I know with myself, there's been parts of my life that I've been really good at keeping a journal, and other parts that I haven't. So the parts that I have, I've got these amazing memories that I can essentially relive. I go in and I read them, and if I close my eyes and just want to imagine it, I can actually see those experiences happening over again. I think these are especially important experiences with our spiritual experiences. The Richard G. Scott talked about how he kept a special spiritual journal on his computer that shared a lot of his experiences. Because no matter how long we've been around, we can't remember everything. That's funny when I'm doing these videos sometimes, an experience will pop back in my head and I'm like, I haven't thought about that for a long time. But also when you're struggling, and when you're having a really hard time, you can go back and you can read your journal. You can read those spiritual experiences that you've had. Those are those rock-type experiences that that you can always fall back on. We talked about recognizing the Lord the other day in our lives. This is an excellent place to do that. I believe it was President Eyring said that his head doesn't hit his pillow until he's written one of the tender mercies that the Lord has given him that day. What would your life be like if you wrote all the tender mercies that happened to you in a day? I think it also brings us the sense of gratitude. A sense of gratitude for where we're at, and a gratitude for what Heavenly Father has done for us. I think it's also something when we look back at other people's journals and look at their hard times, their challenging times, we look at it and say, oh my goodness, if he can make it through, I can make it through. I remember I was listening to a biography of Phil Knight, the creator of Nike. And in there, he's talking about all these struggles and these challenging times. And when I was listening to it, I was at the gym, and he's talking about how Nike might just barely survive. And I'm looking around saying, well, everyone here is almost wearing Nikes. And it's just amazing to see. And it gives me strength to say, you know what? If he can do it, I can do it. And I love that about it as well. But I think what a great thing that you can do for your future family. That they can look back and they can see your experiences. And when one of your kids is going through their struggles and challenges in their life, you can hand them your journal and say, hey, here's when I was going through that. Now, I know sometimes kids don't like to hear, what their parents had to struggle through, but you can actually learn a lot from your parents. I learn as I get older how much more my parents know, as somebody once said. So I want to challenge you today to start a journal, even if it's just 1 minute. And if you don't have money to go buy a journal, then keep it on a computer. And if you don't even have that, then just go buy a really cheap notebook. Even though I highly recommend spending about $10 and getting a hardbound journal, because those last for a long time. And as you write down your experiences, you'll remember how great God is. And you'll be able to look back on those experiences in your later years. So do that, and even just start writing, commit to writing for 1 week, even if it's just less than 5 minutes a day, right before bed. So once again, my name's Joseph Anderson. This is RM University. Have an awesome day.